Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today we're going to be making some daffodils. It is a few weeks past spring here in North Texas, but I still think there's plenty of time to use our daffodils. And I'm going to be showcasing the daffodil dies. And when you actually look at the dies themselves, there's lots of pieces in this set. So it coordinates with the Daffodil Daydream stamp set, and it has dies like this one that you can stamp and cut out a whole bunch. This one over here will punch out the single one here, and there's dies that you can cut out the little butterfly as well. But I'm going to be sharing the other dies in this pack, which will creates the pieces for the daffodil. And if you've seen my video on the pansies, where we cut and build up the pansies, then this is like a similar method. So I'm gonna be actually using some wild colors for this these two daffodils, because I want to be able for you to be able to see how the different pieces come together. In the pack, you're going to have the following dies. So there's a couple here. These are stems, and there's actually a right hand and a left hand stem there. And then you've got two leaves. So there's a right and a left hand leaf as well. And then you've got the following dies that cut the backing pieces, and so it's nice and quick to cut. We get two of each. So there's two trumpets, and there's two of these pieces which are like the backing, and then this is to make this particular daffodil, which is like a side view of the daffodil there. And then there's a piece that reminds me very much of a mustache. Now, these are the pieces that we are going to cut out of the darker colour at this time. And this is Poppy Parade, and this is just really so I can show you how to assemble. And we'll see what it looks like. It might actually be a really cute colour combination. So if you get a piece of card that's long enough and bring your cutting plates down, you should be able to cut all these in one go. Smoosh that up so you can see that that is what I'm doing here. And then this piece, as I say, reminds me very much of a mustache. Okay, so let's hope that we can get all of these through in one go. I'm going to put my cutting plate on top, and I'm going to use one of these to just get that back into position, and then smoosh it in a little bit so I can cut it all in one go. There, I think I'm going to be lucky. Keep my fingers crossed. So just wait for that to bite at the other end, which it just has. And then I'm just going to slowly crank through so I don't disturb any of those pieces. There we go. And there's those. So I only need to cut those pieces once through and pop those to one side. And now I'm going to do the other pieces. So these are pieces that create the colors, the top layers. And as I say, I'm going to do them in a different color. So you'll have two of these, and they match up with this three-petaled piece. So if we get these just right, I might be just lucky to get those out of this piece. I think this colour is crushed curry. I think that's what I used. But as I say, I'm just doing this unusual combination. I think I'm not going to push my luck. I think I'm going to just do those pieces in one go. And crank those through. I just put a little bit of pressure on the end of the plates until it bites in the, and then I can pull this forward. It's not going anywhere. I need to offset it slightly, I think, just to give it a chance to bite. There we go. Ooh. All right. So there are those pieces, and then I've got a couple more. So these pieces can go to one side. Now, one of the things I like to do when I've got so many different pieces, die pieces, is to have a little container on my work surface. And so I can put them in straight away, and I'm less likely to knock them on the floor, lose them, or they get stuck under something, and then I'm looking frantically because they're missing. So you might like to think about doing something similar. And then we're going to just go put the last few pieces through, and that's this one and the one that the other one that looks like a moustache here. I'm sure I won't think of it of any other way now. Okay, last little crank on this. Pop my pieces in there, tuck them out the way, and I was just going to put my mini cut and emboss machine to one side. I'll use that again in a few moments. So now I've got my pieces, and we're going to put them together. So we've got two pieces that look like little trumpets. Then I've got another pair, and then I've got these three petaled ones, and then this peculiar petaled one here. Then I've got my two moustaches, and then I've got these three pieces here. Now the first one is real easy to line up. Okay, this one is going to go on here, and if you look, there's this little kink here, and there's a kink here, and if you line that kink up, then all those pieces will go together, and you can see that you've got all the coloration. Actually, as I look at this, it looks a bit like an orchid to me as well. There's a thought. And then these two are straightforward. They'll line up on there. And then we've got these two pieces, and they're not symmetric. So you just have to just do a little bit of turning. I can't believe I just put that one. No, that's what's not right. Can you see it's not quite lined up over there? So we're just going to turn it round another turn, and that doesn't work. Can you see there's little bits of red showing where they shouldn't be? So we're going to do there, and that is exactly matching up. And we're going to repeat with this one. And there, that one just literally dropped in. And then our final one is our two moustache pieces. And if you sort of have the moustache going, as it were, down, then they should line up like that. Now, those of you who follow me know that I like to use liquid adhesive. So I'm going to put little dots on here, but you can use tape runner or whatever adhesive works for you. There, and I've just layered those there. And I'll do this one again so that you can just see I've got a little bit of adhesive there, just a few dots. You don't need a huge amount. These pieces are very, very lightweight. They're not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to line up the bottom piece here, and then I'm just using my nails really to just line up the top edges, and then to just gently squeeze them down. I've got a little bit of adhesive come out there, but I'll just pick that off. So there's my 2 trumpets. Then I'm going to get the little bit that looks like a mustache and just put a tiny little a bit of adhesive there, and then just layer those 2 together. And then we're getting all these little pieces now all sort of layered in together, less pieces to lose. This one, as I said, I'm just going to line up that little side kink piece there, a little bit that goes in, and just using my fingers to just squeeze them so everything lines up. And then the last 2. So you've got to concentrate a bit on these because I already found out the direction. So if I have them like that and just flip this over and put a little bit of adhesive there, then I know when I line this back up again, the petals and the top pieces will all be in the right direction. All right, and then finally, this piece. Just get a little bit of that adhesive out the way. And there we have all our pieces. So we had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pieces. Now we've got 6. And now we're going to start putting them together. And so we'll actually form our 2 daffodils. For this, I prefer to use glue dots. I just found that it worked better for me. I managed to have got one on my finger. Look at that. Oof. Okay. Waste not, want not. So I'm going to pop one in the middle here. And I'm going to attach the other petals so that they fill the gap. So now you've got quite a pretty little flower. Then I'm going to take one of the trumpets and I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on the back of it, and I'm going to position this to the side and press really firmly. So that's my one daffodil. And then the other is a sort of a sideways one. So I'm going to take the little moustachey looking piece and put another glue dot. And I'm going to take the weird shaped 3 petal and I'm going to pop it so that you can see like a bit of a gap. There's a little bit of an air gap there. And to do my design, I want a trumpet going to the left and a trumpet going to the right. So this one I'm going to have going to the right. And I'm going to have it going like this. So there's my 2 flowers. They do look a bit zany in red and yellow, don't they? But hey, it served its purpose. So now I'm going to get my other dies to cut the leaves and the stems. I'm doing this with a bit of Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to lay down, I'm going to be doing 2 stems, a left and a right, and 2 leaves, a left and a right. It just looks more balanced when you come to put everything together. So again, I'm going to pop that on the top and just push it till it bites. Crank it through. If you don't have one of these minis, you really ought to think about investing in one, because they're so easy to use on your work surface. So there's my dies. I'm going to pop to one side because I don't want to lose them. And I have my 2 stems and my 2 leaves. If you look very carefully, on one side you'll see that it's quite a smooth rounded edge, and on the other side there's quite a raw cut edge. This is the back side, so the smooth side is the side that is the front. So we're going to take my little flowers, and there is a right and a left stem. Now, when you look at a daffodil, the stem comes out in line with the bottom of the trumpet. And so when you attach it to the back, you want to have your stem coming out so that it kind of forms a curve down with your trumpet. And I just find that if you do it that way, it looks a bit more realistic. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive tape to hold that in place. This is quite chunky, and I just want to take a bit of weight off. Can you see what I mean? The trumpet comes and falls down in a curve to your stem. We're going to do the second one this way, and just gonna, if you see, that's how it goes, and we're just going to pop it in behind like that. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of sticky tape. So this is really just my way of creating the daffodils. I'm sure there are different ways. I just found that it worked better for me if I work this way. So when I come to arrange them, I'm going to have a left and a right, and I'm going to have a left hand leaf, and I'm going to have a right hand leaf, like that. So I have made a start with a card, and it's a Slimline card, and I thought it would really work very, very well with the long stems of the daffodils. And I've decorated the pieces with this lovely sort of curly ornamental stamp, and then I've got my daffodil in here, and I've taken another piece of card and the pale papaya. This is the pale papaya and white, and I think it's what, a centimetre or a ½ inch there. And all I've done here is I've just wrapped a piece around my card, and I've just attached it with some sticky tape. Those of you who've seen some of my videos that I call mastering ribbon, this is how I add my ribbon rather than all the way round. It cuts back on bulk, particularly if you're mailing, and like me, if you mail overseas a lot, that keeps the weight down, but also it stops you wasting ribbon, because when ribbon's on the back, nobody can see it. So I'll just attach that with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to arrange my daffodils. And you can see that I've done the trumpet with the pale papaya and the rest with basic white. I just wanted for it to have some I just wanted it to look very, very plain and simple there. And then this one I'm going to pop in down the back there. So now I've got them roughly where I want them to be. I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm just going to gently hold it in place and just pick up my flower, pop a dimensional on the back, and then just bring it down, because I know that is in the place that I want it to be. And then I'm just going to take these out. Now I've got that one fixed down, I'm going to put another dimensional here. And I'm going to bring this, and I want it to, I think I want it to kind of just be there, like that. So every one of your daffodil arrangements will look different, because it's just the way that you build them up. I'm going to put a little of my liquid adhesive and I'm going to slide that down and fill some of my white space. And then I'm going to take this one with some little glue, and I'm going to slip this one down as well under my piece of ribbon. And I want it to kind of come up and fill a bit more of my white space. Now, one of the things I did do was I took my Wink of Stella, this is the liquid glitter, and I just did a little bit of Wink of Stella on the coloured part of my trumpet. Just kind of catches that light a little bit. Then a bow made out of the same ribbon. I have a video on how I make my bows. I will add a link to that. Now, all my dimensions will be on my blog, and if you follow the link below my this video, you'll find that'll take you straight to my blog, and you'll be able to get the dimensions of the card and the various layers. I'm just going to put a little glue dot behind the ribbon loops, just to make sure that they don't move too far from where I want them to be. There. And then I'm going to use one of the newer products in Stampin' Up's collection, and that is these Slimline envelopes. And they're called Slimline envelopes, and they come in 3 colours. There's the grey, smoky slate, the basic white, and then soft succulent. And all I did with this one is to just put the same design here that I've used on my other card. And there I have a lovely any occasion card. I think I might come along and stamp a greeting when I want to use the card. I want to show you for another purpose I used it is on this sampler, and I did this exactly the same, except I used Daffodil Delight for my little trumpet colours. Well, I hope you've liked this technique, how I've shown you how to build a daffodil. I certainly enjoyed working it out for myself and then coming and sharing it with you. Thank you for your time. If you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't already subscribe, then perhaps you'd hit the subscription button as well. Thank you and bye for now.